today, we're looking at a pretty brutal reality check. We're diving into a bunch of analysis on the myth of the manager in eFootball, and honestly, I'm feeling a little attacked by all this data.
It is a bit of a wake-up call. The research basically goes for the jugular of one of the biggest superstitions in the community. Our mission today is to debunk this idea that buying a manager is the same as buying a tactic.
Okay.
We're going to look at why we think they matter, what they actually do, and this is the big one. If the manager isn't controlling the team, then who is?
I have to clarify something right off the bat, because I literally just bought a premium manager pack last week. Are you telling me that was a waste of money?
Yeah.
Is buying a fancy new manager basically a placebo effect?
Look, I don't want to hurt your feelings this early, but mostly, yeah. The research argues that while it feels like a massive tactical shift, mechanically, the difference is almost nothing. You might have just paid for a placebo.
That feels like a scam. I mean, surely there's something going on under the hood. I remember playing the older games where the manager was everything.
And that's the thing. You aren't crazy for thinking that. You're remembering a different era of the game. To understand why we fall for this now, we have to talk about the ghost of PE's past.
PES past? You mean the old Pro Evolution soccer days?
Exactly. The research really highlights that this whole manager myth is a legacy feeling. Back in the PES era, the manager was the tactical engine. If you picked a coach, he came with hard-coded instructions. The manager would determine things like support range, how close your teammates get to you. They set the defensive line height, compactness, all of it.
Wow.
The manager was the tactic.
So if I switched managers back then, I was basically switching the entire identity of the team. It wasn't just a picture on the screen. It was a completely different set of rules for the AI.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that created this, deep neural pathway in our gamer brains. We learned new manager equals new behavior, and we're dragging that old feeling into modern eFootball.
So we're operating on outdated software.
Yeah.
In our heads.
We are chasing a ghost. The modern manager system has been, it's been stripped down to the studs, but we're still treating it like a fully furnished house.
Okay, stop. If the manager isn't controlling my defensive line height or my pressing intensity or any of that, what are they doing? Why are they even in the game?
So, in the current version of eFootball, a manager has two primary functions, mechanically speaking. One, they activate a team play style.
Okay.
And two, they determine proficiency.
Proficiency, that's a number, right? Like 87 or 88. I always just assumed that meant how good they are.
It's a little more technical than that. Think of proficiency as a stat multiplier. Or maybe a lack of it is a stat punishment. If your manager has low proficiency in playstyle, say you try to play quick counter with a manager who hates it, your players get a global debuff.
A debuff.
A massive one. Their stats drop, they turn slower, they pass worse, their defensive awareness just plummets. They basically play like they're drunk.
Okay, so buying a high proficiency manager is just buying sobriety for my players.
That is a fantastic way to put it, yes.
Yes.
You are paying to ensure your players just play at their base stats. But, and this is the huge but, once you hit that proficiency threshold, say 85 or higher, the manager kind of stops mattering.
Wait, hold on. Let me process this. So if I have a free manager I got with GP who has 88 proficiency in possession game.
Yep.
And I have a premium manager I paid real money for who also has 88 proficiency in possession game. Do they play differently?
No.
At all?
Mechanically. Zero difference. The research is incredibly explicit on this. It says two managers with the same playstyle and proficiency are almost 99% identical in gameplay. They don't reshape your team. They don't make your pressing more aggressive.
They're just a skin.
They're just a skin.
99% identical. That's just depressing for my wallet. I really thought the premium guys had some secret sauce.
Well, the research gives a great example to drive this home. Think about Pep Guardiola. In the game, you might have 2010 Guardiola and Bayern Guardiola.
Right.
In real life, those were very different tactical eras, different shapes, different pressing triggers. But in the game, if they both have the possession game playstyle, the engine treats them as the exact same person.
So I really am just paying for the photo and the suit.
You're paying for the vibe. Now, I know what you're going to ask next, but what about the boosters?
Yes, the boosters. That's the sales pitch. Get this manager, he gives +1 to speed or +1 to passing. That has to count for something, right? In a competitive game, every little bit helps.
It counts for something, but we need to put it in perspective. The research calls these minor ticks.
A tick is better than nothing.
Yes, let's look at the context. eFootball uses a form system, those arrows before a match. A player on a top form blue arrow gets a massive boost to almost all their stats. We're talking +2, +3, sometimes more across the board.
Okay.
Compared to that, a manager giving a permanent +1 to just passing it's almost noise. It's the sprinkles on a donut. It doesn't change the donut itself.
But does that +1 make my team behave differently?
No. And that is the critical part. A +1 to passing does not make your defensive line hold a high trap. A +1 to speed doesn't make your striker make a smarter run. Those are structural behaviors.
So the booster is just paint.
It's just paint. You can paint a wall gold, but if the wall's in the wrong place, your house is still going to fall down.
That is a brutal analogy. So I'm out here buying gold paint for a wall that's blocking my own hallway?
Pretty much. I mean, there are tiny exceptions. Some managers have a link-up play quirk, but generally, relying on a manager booster to fix a tactical flaw is like trying to fix a flat tire by washing the car. It looks nicer, but it's not going anywhere.
Okay, I'm feeling suitably humbled. I've wasted my coins. But this leaves this huge void. If the manager is 99% cosmetic, and my team is still playing like a disorganized mess, who is deciding the tactics? Because someone is telling my defenders where to stand.
And this brings us to the most empowering and honestly the most intimidating part of the research. We have to build the house of tactics.
Yeah.
If the manager isn't the architect, then you are. The research breaks this down logically. Think of it like building a house. The foundation is the team playstyle, the structure is the player playstyles, and the decoration is the progression.
Okay, let's walk through the house. Foundation first, team playstyle.
This is the geometry of your team. Remember how we said managers don't set the line height?
Yeah.
Well, the playstyle sets the line height, not the manager. If you select quick counter in your game plan, the game engine automatically sets your defensive line high right up near the halfway line. It sets your team to be compact and aggressive.
So it doesn't matter if the manager is Klopp or some random guy from the J League. If I pick quick counter, the line goes up.
Exactly. The geometry is hard-coded into the style, not the person. If you pick long ball counter, the engine drags your defenders way back to your own penalty box. They're practically standing on your goalkeeper's toes.
This explains so much. I've had games where I'm screaming, "Why are you so deep?" And I just thought my manager was bad. But it was just because I had long ball counter selected.
Yes. You were fighting the geometry that you chose. You can't buy a manager to force a quick counter team to sit deep. That's like buying a circle and then getting mad it's not a square.
Okay, so that's the foundation. The geometry. What about the structure? You said player play styles.
This is where the actors come on stage. And this is probably the biggest misconception players have. We think the manager tells the players where to run. The research says no. Off-the-ball movement comes from player play styles, not managers.
Break that down for me. Give me a scenario.
Okay, imagine you have a defensive midfielder. You want him to stay back, protect the defense, be a shield. But in the game, he just keeps running forward, leaving this huge hole behind him.
I have lived this nightmare many, many times.
Your instinct is to blame the manager. I need a more defensive coach. But let's look at the player card. If that midfielder has the box-to-box playstyle, he is hard-coded to run from one penalty box to the other.
No matter what.
No matter what. The manager could be the most defensive, cowardly coach in history. But that player's internal code says, run. So he runs.
So the manager is just standing on the sideline screaming, "Stay back." And the player's basically ignoring him because his DNA tells him to go forward.
Precisely. If you want that player to stay back, you don't need a new manager. You need a player with the anchorman playstyle. An anchorman is coded to pretty much never cross the halfway line.
That's wild. We keep trying to change the conductor, but the musicians are just playing their own sheet music.
That is the perfect metaphor. You have to cast the right actors for the roles.
Yeah.
You can't hire an action hero and tell him to do a romantic comedy. If you want a high press, you need players with high aggression. If you want possession, you need players who come short, like a creative playmaker.
So foundation is the line height, the team play style. Structure is the movement, the player play style. What's the decoration? You called player progression the decoration.
This is the final trap, and I bet you've done this.
Yeah.
I know I have. You get a new card, let's say a new Messi. You go online, you find the #1 ranked player in the world.
And you copy his build, exactly. I do that literally every time. It's the pro build. If it works for the pro, it'll work for me, right?
Wrong. The research calls this the copy-paste trap.
Why? A good build is a good build.
Is it though? Imagine you take the engine out of a Formula One car and you put it in a Jeep that's designed for off-roading. Is that a good engine?
It's a great engine, but it's going to explode on a dirt track.
Exactly. A pro player might build his methy with 0 passing and 99 dribbling because his tactics are all about solo runs. But maybe your tactical style, your foundation, is possession game. You need passing. If you copy the pro build, you've just built a Ferrari to drive off-road.
And then I blame the manager when I crash.
You blame the manager, or you say the game is scripted. But really, you just have a misalignment. Real improvement only comes when you align all 3 parts of the house.
So I need to match the stats to my own style.
Yes. If you play possession game, the research suggests you should put points into tight possession and low pass. If you play quick counter, you need to prioritize speed and stamina because your team is sprinting for 90 minutes.
It seems so obvious now that you say it, but I've just been building players to make the overall number go up. I want that 100 rating on the card.
We all love the big shiny number, but a 96 rated player who actually fits your system is infinitely better than a 101 rated player who doesn't.
This is actually, it's kind of freeing. It's annoying because I have to do more work now, but it's freeing because I don't need to chase the meta managers anymore.
It saves you coins. And ultimately, it makes you a better player because you're actually engaging with the real mechanics, not some fantasy version of how you think the game works.
It shifts the power back to the person holding the controller.
It does.
Okay, let's try to summarize this house of tactics for everyone listening, just to make sure we've got the blueprint right.
Sure, let's recap it.
First, the ghost of PES. The idea that managers control specific tactics like pressing or compactness is a myth. It's gone.
Gone. Don't look for it.
Second, modern managers are 99% cosmetic. If they have high proficiency, they're just a skin. And those little booster stats, the +1 passing, they're just garnish. They don't change the meal.
Correct. Don't spend real money expecting a mechanical revolution.
And finally, the house of tactics. You control the geometry with team playstyle, you control the movement with player playstyles, casting the right actors, and you control the performance with progression, building the stats to match the job.
Perfect. Alignment is the key. No more copy-pasting builds blindly.
It's a lot to take in, especially if you've just dropped 1,500 coins on a manager hoping for a miracle. I'm still a little salty about my purchase, I'm not gonna lie.
Look, the suit probably looks nice. Enjoy the sideline animation. Just don't expect him to play defense for you.
Fair enough. Well, there you have it. The myth is busted. The manager is just a guy in a suit. The real tactician is you.
But before we go, I want to leave the listener with one last thought. There's a bit of a mirror moment derived from all this research.
Go for it. Hurt me one last time.
So we've established that managers are 99% identical. We've established that you, the user, determine the geometry and the movement. The next time you find yourself screaming at the screen, blaming the script, or looking for a new manager to buy, ask yourself this: how much of your frustration is actually with the game's mechanics?
Okay.
And how much of it is simply a refusal to take ownership of your own tactical flaws?
Wow. Okay. That hit deep. I think I'm going to go stare at my formation screen for about 3 hours and rethink my life choices.
It's the only way to get better.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive, everyone. Don't buy the hype, build the house. We'll see you out there on the virtual pitch.
Ideally with a better tactical setup.
Hopefully. Catch you next time.